Evening, everybody, and welcome back to Red Devils TV. Now, a very interesting topic today. As we know, Harry Maguire is set to leave Manchester United for West Ham for a reported fee of £30 million. Now, it kind of is surreal, this entire situation, because I've never considered Harry Maguire to leave Manchester United unless it was 1 year left on his contract or on a free transfer. I just thought we could never shift him, never get rid of him. But now we're getting the news that Harry Maguire is set to leave Manchester United for a reported fee of £30 million. Now, first of all, I've already made a video on Harry Maguire. If you haven't checked it out already, go and check it out. I made it this afternoon. But Harry Maguire is not a bad centre-back. And the strengths and weaknesses that he has, he just hasn't done himself any favours in the previous times. Like, you've got the time when he scored for England and he did the knee slide celebration with his fingers in his ears. He's just not helped himself out in them certain situations. But he's a true professional. He's very good in the air. And I believe that in a David Moyes system, this low block system, Harry Maguire is definitely going to excel. And we're going to see the best of him because he'll have that extra shielding, he'll have that extra protection, and he'll look like a very decent centre-back. I don't like the fact that all these other fans who claim that the United fans who send him death threats, who boo him at half-time, for me, I think is absolutely ridiculous in my opinion. But anyway, so first of all, these are one of the players that we are linked to, and his name is Tapsoba. Now, Tapsoba, here is career stats so far, and he's doing quite well. I mean, Tapsoba is one of them centre-backs who currently plays for Bayern Leverkusen. He's a very strong centre-back with a lot of potential, and he's got many strengths and kind of actually quite a few weaknesses. And Tapsoba is one of them players that we're linked to that is kind of, I believe, paper talk. There are two centre-backs on this list that I do believe are imminent, and I would say that Erik ten Hag is very fond of a certain other one who we'll get onto in a moment. But I just wanted to quickly run through Tapsoba first. He's got Champions League experience, as we can see here. He's had over 100 appearances in the Bundesliga, scoring 3 goals, getting 1 assist and 13 yellow cards. And then just all the other leagues, obviously playing in the Europa League as well, having 29 appearances, 1 goal and 1 assist. So with Tapsoba here, he definitely has good career stats. He is mainly a centre-back, as we can see here. And it says here, having centre-back played as 183 games, scoring 18 goals and getting 4 assists, and only having 1 appearance in the midfield. Now, I do believe that he's obviously, it says it's crystal clear there, it's in black and white, that he is a main centre-back. And this is probably why Manchester United are linked to him. But overall, as Tapsoba is, he's a very good centre-back. He's 1.92 metres tall, which makes him around 6'3", 6'4". So he's a big centre-back. So we wouldn't be losing out on heights like we have done with Harry Maguire. Harry Maguire being a 6'5" centre-back. And plus we've got a massive keeper in Andre Onana, who is also 6'3", I believe. So if we sign Tapsoba, I would not say no, because he's a player with a lot of potential. He's only 24 years old, and I believe that that's a decent age for a centre-back. And I believe that he's also got a lot of potential, and at a value at £30 million, we'd literally just been investing what we've earned from Harry Maguire, and we're going straight into Tapsoba as a reinvestment. Now, looking into a bit more stats on Tapsoba. Now, obviously, it tells us here that just obviously he's a defender, centre, where he's from, his age, and all that stuff, and the team he plays for. But then it says here, which I really like, a summary about him and the defensive and offensive of the way he plays football. And I believe that, let me just click on here with the match statistics. And with him here, is that it tells you about all the games he plays, which is why I really like these type of apps. And it says here, let me just double check that everything's working. No, it's not. I've gone on the wrong slide. 1 second. There it is. I apologize. I went on the wrong screen. Is that all working out? Yes, it is. So with Tapsoba, obviously we've changed it to the other thing now. And if I scroll down a little bit, it tells you the career paths that he's chosen. And it says here that his main appearance, which was last season, he had 39 appearances, scoring 2 goals and getting 1 assist, having an average rating of 6.78 in the Bundesliga. And the Bundesliga is very good. And it says here that he doesn't have many traits when it comes to strengths and weaknesses. Obviously, they've not really updated it on this website, but passing is one of his major strengths, and aerial duels. Now, for having a 6'5", sort of 6'4" centre back, not being good in the air is not the best trait to have realistically, because you're really tall and realistically should be expected to be very good in the air. But with a coach like Erik ten Hag, I definitely do believe that a player like Tapsoba could be coached into a much better player. But with Tapsoba, we're kind of just recently briefing through him because I do feel like he's a very decent centre-back. But I just think at the time being that with Manchester United, Tapsoba just isn't the one. Moses Ian, how are you doing, pal? Nice to see you. And obviously saying good evening to you too, pal. And Phoenix, Thomas, how are you doing, pal? Good evening, Red Devils TV. Good night, good evening to you, Phoenix Football Show. But anyway, going on and continuing with the theme of Manchester United centre-backs, let me just find it now for our next player, who is a player that I know a lot more about, and that's Jean-Clair Todibo. Now, Todibo, an absolute exceptional midfielder. Now, let me just get it up here with Todibo. And with Todibo, obviously, just get rid of his ad. But with Todibo, I believe that he's definitely one of the best upcoming centre-backs in the world. The fact that he's 6'3", he's only recently 23 years old, and I believe he's an absolute sensational talent. And I believe that he would be the replacement for Harry Maguire, but he also has the potential and the promising status that he could also even possibly bench Varane. Now, Varane, obviously, as we know, he is a bit inconsistent when it comes to his injuries. He does have a few injuries every season since he's been at Man United. Not major ones, but he has missed, I believe, it's at least over 15 games he's missed over the last 2 seasons. And for your starting centre-back, that can't be the case. So with Todibo, I believe that him coming in will be a definite upgrade, and I believe that he goes straight to being the third choice. He's definitely better than Lindelof, and I believe that he could actually provide a lot of competition between Varane and Martinez. I'm not saying he's as good as them are, but I'm saying that maybe in a later game when Varane needs a rest or rotation, Todibo can definitely hold his own. Now, who is Todibo? Now, he's very good. Obviously, as we know, he's a centre-back. He can play both sides. He mainly is a right-sided centre-back, much like Harry Maguire. But again, much like Tapsoba, he's valued at 30 million euros, which again is such a small price tag and what we've literally just made from Harry Maguire. But the thing is with Harry Maguire as well, we've made 30 million pounds. This is 30 million euros. So equivalently, it's around 26 million pounds. So we'll be saving ourselves some money and investing into the right choice. Now, that's only if we was to buy him for 30 million euros. I believe you could probably get Todibo for around 40 million euros. So you're just investing a little bit more, which will probably what happen throughout player sales. But that's hopefully if we do sell players like McTominay and Fred as well, and maybe even Dean Henderson to Nottingham Forest. But with Todibo, now let me just quickly get up the other app. And I want to talk about Todibo because the fact is that he's so direct in his passing ability. He's great in the air. And with Todibo, for me, I believe that he's the better option out of the young centre-backs between him and Tapsoba. I rate both players very much, but with Todibo, I believe that the way that he plays football, the way that he's calm and confident on the ball, the way that he tracks back, and he's got the pace to track back with his runners if he is beaten for pace. The guy's very physical. And with Todibo, I believe that he is going to be a very good player, and I would be gutted if we missed out on him. And if you could get him for around 40 million euros, I would say that's an absolute bargain, considering Manchester United have spent 80 million pounds on Harry Maguire in the past, and Todibo will be an absolute sensation in my opinion. But let's get on to a few more stats about Todibo to let you learn a bit more about him. And with Todibo, I just want to keep mentioning it here, that he's only 23 and he is born in December. So he will be, obviously, turn 24 in December. But I want to show you here is that his passing and concentration are key, and he has no significant weaknesses. And this is why I want to turn around and say to you all, the audience, that with Todibo, he is a brilliant upcoming player, and this doesn't even give him the credit that he deserves. The passing and concentration, first of all, are the key traits that Erik ten Hag requires in his centre-backs. But it's not also that he has the pace, he has the physicality, he has, like, obviously, it already says the concentration. But with Todibo, I believe he would be the perfect replacement for Harry Maguire. But that's just my opinion. There is one more centre-back who is Erik ten Hag's first choice, and I'm going to get onto him now. Now, you may have heard about him before, you may not have, but this player is definitely Erik ten Hag's favourite and first choice. Let me just see you guys in the comments. Neil Kane, big up, mate. I hope you're all good. I'm very good, thank you. Thank you for joining the chat. Moses says that I would love the gaffer to sign Benjamin because he has the most experience. I'm going to talk about him right now. You've literally brought me to the perfect transition. Simon Davis saying youth is the future. I mean, Simon Davis obviously being a Man City fan, and Man City have just signed Gravadiol, I believe is how you pronounce his name, from RB Leipzig. He'll be a very good centre-back for them. I wonder who he'll replace out of the 4 centre-backs Man City do place, but we're a United fan channel here. Luca, nice to see you, pal, as always. And Moses says that in the UCL and can definitely play fullback, play centre-back and full-back. So, as Moses said, brings me on to the perfect transition. Let me just get it up now. Benjamin Pavard. Now, Benjamin Pavard is, I mean, if you don't know who Benjamin Pavard is, you've been under a rock. He has been an absolute sensational talent, and he's one of the best French defenders in the world, in my opinion. The fact that the guy can play in multiple positions, as we can see here. He can play mainly centre-back and right-back, DM, centre-mid, right-mid, and left-back. Now, what I want to compare to him here is that with Benjamin Pavard, I just want to talk about how he's a utility player for Bayern Munich. And again, he's a massive player for Bayern Munich, and he would be a massive loss if Manchester United could get his signature. But with Benjamin Pavard, it says here, he has kind of multiple appearances at right back and centre back, accumulating 7 goals and 11 assists from right back and 7 goals and 3 assists from centre back. With Pavard, I believe that he would be the better option to sign. I mean, he's won the World Cup, he's won multiple Bundesligas, he's won a Champions League, he's won a Super Cup. The experience that he has, I mean, and only at 27 years old, so that's 3 years younger than Varane, that's 3 years younger than Harry Maguire. So realistically, yes, he's not a very young centre-back, but the experience that he would bring to Manchester United would be absolutely incredible. And I want to talk about why he would be such a great player. Now, it's football, bro. You're growing quick. Thank you very much, pal. Thank you for being in the comments and subscribe. And this is a question to everyone. If you can subscribe, if you are new, we are on the road to 800 subscribers. So if you could please subscribe, that'd be absolutely sensational. And Simon says versatility. Now, with Benjamin Pavard, I just want to say that the World Cup winner is absolutely sensational. And I just believe that with all these centre-backs, they're much better upgrades on what we currently have in Harry Maguire, who is on his way, obviously, out of the door to West Ham. But I wouldn't be surprised if Lindelof also will be going. We might get 2 of these centre-backs. But that's also all up in the air. I don't believe that will happen. I do believe that Manchester United are lucky if we do end up signing a player like Todibo and Amrabat, because then I feel like that it will make the window go from about a 6 or 7 out of 10 to a 9 out of 10. And that's been the issue. I'm not being negative, because obviously we're a very positive Man United fan channel and we do speak the truth and we do speak what's on our mind. But what I do want to talk about is that with Manchester United, you can't rate this transfer window currently any higher than a 6 out of 10, in my opinion, because you've got the amount of time that it's took to get these signings in. Rasmus Højlund, we've just bought, who's currently injured. Now, yes, I know he was in the training footage this morning, getting back and doing his physio and all that stuff to just get himself back into the training. But we've signed him injured. Mason Mount hasn't hit the ground running like we all thought he would. And Andre Onana hasn't kept a clean sheet yet. And Andre Onana is definitely going to make Manchester United a much better side, a much better team, in my opinion. But with the whole highlighted of what's happened in the Premier League for Manchester United is that our signings have taken too long and the Glazers are stalling. And this is where the issue is now, because we've got less than a month now till the transfer window closes. And we've got multiple signings we still need to make, because if we could actually make and sign another midfielder and a centre back and maybe even a backup striker, that's when it goes to a 9 out of 10. And I know then Manchester United signed about 7 players in one window, which would be absolutely incredible. But if you remember what Ralph Rangnick said when he was our interim manager, this club needs open heart surgery. We need 10 to 11 new players to actually start competing again. And he was spot on. Because with Erik ten Hag, he's now received he's on around 6 to 7 new signings that are starting to make a difference and starting to make an impact. Some aren't currently working out. You've got Anthony, Mason Mount, who currently will develop and get better and better as their careers progress as Manchester United players. But then you've got players like Lisandro Martinez. You've got Malacia, who's a great, promising fullback. Christian Eriksen kind of hasn't worked out, but that's the system that we're trying to play him in. With Erik ten Hag, you can see his vision and the philosophy he's bringing towards Manchester United. And the reason why I believe that this would make the transfer window so much better for Manchester United is because I just personally believe that Manchester United are going to increase and get better and better. And this is showing that the owners are, this is the frustrating thing in my opinion, because with Manchester United, our owners don't care about the fans. That's dominantly clear. But they've always invested money, but it's the money United have generated themselves. So they've not took anything out of their own pocket. This is why they're terrible owners. And this is why United have been in the swamps, sinking like quicksand for so many years now. And only under Erik ten Hag, an experienced coach who's making our players better, is why we're actually starting to succeed. Simon turns around and says that, yeah, agreed, life experience is priceless. 40 million isn't a lot in the grand scheme of things. Exactly. And with experience, look at Casemiro. We invested 60 to 70 million pounds in Casemiro, and he's completely changed Manchester United by himself alone with the balance he's brought towards the midfield. I do believe that Manchester United's balanced midfield will look absolutely sensational, be one of the best midfield threes in the Premier League if we do have Bruno Fernandes, Amrabat and Casemiro. Now, I know we've recently signed Mason Mount, but I just don't understand why we've signed him yet, because Mason Mount just makes our midfield quite unbalanced in my opinion. So I don't know what the plan is with Erik ten Hag, because if he wants to fit Mason Mount into this team as well, I believe you have to shift him onto the right-hand side, because as that number 10, you can't bench Bruno Fernandes because he's so consistent and wants to play every single game and is now our official club captain. Simon also says that the only issue is the Glazers, end of story. Exactly, and it's the speed and process of the signings. But like I said, right now you can rank Manchester United's current transfer window a 6 out of 10. But if they do sign Amrabat, a new centre-back to replace Harry Maguire, and maybe even a backup striker for Højlund or a more experienced striker so they can rotate between each other, I believe that's when you can increase it to an 8 to 9 out of 10, which is, I can't remember the last time I actually gave Manchester United an 8 out or 9 out of 10 when it comes to a transfer window. It's Football says that, who do you think will buy United? For me, I don't believe that it doesn't matter who's going to buy Manchester United. For me, it's all about Glazers out. It doesn't matter whether it's Sir Jim Ratcliffe or Qatar or another unknown bidder. But who do I think will buy Manchester United? I will say Qatar, because I feel like that with all the reports for what everyone's saying, all the journalists and the news articles, that the Qatar are the ones leading the race. Sir Jim Ratcliffe we've not heard of in a few weeks now, so it seems like he's kind of given up on the dream of owning Manchester United. So I would say Qatar are the ones that will probably buy Manchester United. But again, it's not about Sir Jim Ratcliffe or Qatar. It's about getting the Glazers out. Like I said, that Manchester United are having a decent transfer window, but it's the money we've generated. The Glazers aren't investing their own money. And no doubt in January time, when the stocks come in and the whole spreadsheets and all them stuff come out, we'll see that the Glazers are probably taking out even more dividends. And this summer was also kind of a setback, because we had the Glazers, obviously, Eric Ten Hag probably expected that the Qataris would be in charge of the summer, so Eric Ten Hag would have had probably an unlimited transfer budget. But again, that's not happened, and we've made decent signings, but I do believe that the Qataris or the new owner will probably be the Manchester United owner by the end of this season. I'm not going to put a date on it because I can't guarantee it. I'm not a psychic, but I do believe that Manchester United will be sold this season, and that's just my opinion. So let me know in the comments down below on who you think should sign Manchester United and be the new owners. Simon says that feeling out process. Rashford's link-up play with Garnacho the other night looked shit hot. Now, yes, I agree. That game with Garnacho and Rashford was very good. Obviously, we did play Lens and we did win 3-1. Obviously, if you haven't checked out that match reaction, go and check that out now. And it was a very good video. But Garnacho was my man of the match in that game because he looks like he's now bulked up. Now, I know he's going to be a dad, Garnacho, at the age of 19 or 20, however old Garnacho is. But he's now starting to get that physique and develop as that more physical player. But he doesn't look like he's losing his pace or his agileness or his threat. He looks like he's starting to develop more physically. And this is what I like to see from Garnacho, because this is where you'd see moments last season where he's this skinny young prospect who is very fast and got a lot of flair about him, but he would get bounced off the ball with physical centre-backs and physical full-backs. But now Garnacho's come back from pre-season. He looks quite bulked. He's put on a bit of weight and strength. And I believe that Garnacho is going to have, like last season was Garnacho's kind of breakthrough season out of the youth team. But now I believe that his development started to dip because we were relying on him so much. But this season, I believe that with the Højlund being signed, so now with Rashford doesn't have to play centre forward every single game, we're going to see Garnacho develop even further this season and become more matured. And I believe at the end of the season, if all things go to plan, Garnacho will be challenging one of our forwards for the first team spot, whether it's Rashford, whether it's Højlund, whether it's Antony, Sancho, you name it. Garnacho will be pushing for that first team spot. And because he's been in the United youth team for so long, all he knows is Manchester United. His idol was Cristiano Ronaldo, that he had the honour of playing football with. But yeah, I do believe Garnacho is going to have a very good season this season for Manchester United. Simon says that things can only get better. Depends. It depends. I mean, things can get worse. I mean, the Glazers can say that they are staying and they're not going to sell the club. That could get worse. And then Simon also says that agreed, he's matured. It's evident. But let me know in the comments down below on the centre-backs we've mentioned in this video. I do believe that Tapsoba, Pavard and Todibo are very good centre-backs that will increase and improve Manchester United in a period of time. But at the end of the day, Harry Maguire leaves Manchester United. That's the breaking news of today. I wish Harry Maguire all the best. But realistically, we are going to talk about Harry Maguire now. That his strengths and weaknesses, that we know that Harry Maguire plays exceptional for England because he's in a low block system where he's shielded, protected, but gets time on the ball, gets to make his correct decision making. And with a player like John Stones, who is a quality centre-back, that's why we see the best out of Harry Maguire. But in this West Ham side, I believe that Harry Maguire is going to succeed, and that's the bottom line. Harry Maguire is going to succeed at West Ham, and I would not be surprised if Harry Maguire plays Manchester United and he scores the winner, and he'll kiss the badge, he'll kiss his captain's armband, and bubbles are blowing everywhere in the West Ham stadium, and United will hit rock bottom, and all the fans who properly back Harry Maguire will be like, told you we should never have sold him, this, and this. But I do believe it is the correct decision for all parties involved. Harry Maguire needs to leave Manchester United for his career, for Manchester United and for West Ham, because Manchester United are getting a decent fee of £30 million. Harry Maguire is going to a system that suits him, and West Ham are getting an upgrade on the centre-back. Everybody wins, and even a more positive for Harry Maguire, he'll play first-team football and Europa League football, because West Ham are in the Europa League due to them winning the Conference League. He will have a shout of getting and keeping his England international spot. But I do feel like now also the pressure is off Harry Maguire, and that's why we're going to see him improve as a player. But it hasn't worked out at Manchester United, so all I can say is that I wish him all the best in his future. Luca, big up, pal. How are you, mate? And obviously, we need to get a video together soon. Obviously, Luca runs an Arsenal fan channel, so if you haven't subscribed to him, go and subscribe to my mate Luca. We are going to be doing some content together when Manchester United and Arsenal do face each other. I believe it's game week 4 that United face each other in the Premier and Arsenal face each other in the Premier League. So no doubt there'll be some great content that we can produce together. And Simon Davis also says that I feel now the pressure is off Maguire, he will shine again. And that's the thing. Harry Maguire was a very decent centre-back for Leicester. Manchester United came in for him for such a high price because he was linked to teams like Liverpool and Manchester City. So with that, Manchester United obviously massively overspent, and Maguire has never reached that price tag. But the first 18 months of Maguire's career at Manchester United, he was our best centre-back. And if you remember the Europa League final, he was injured, and you could probably put an argument in there that was the reason why Manchester United lost, because we had to play Eric Bailey and Lindelof, and they just didn't have the chemistry there. And Harry Maguire was definitely a very good centre back at one point, but I just don't see that player anymore. And I feel like that with the fact that some fans have booed him in games, I think that's absolutely disgraceful, by the way, because I never believe that we should boo our own players. It's absolutely disgusting. But that sums up his reputation at Manchester United. Majority of the fans want him to leave. Some fans do like him and respect him. I'm one of them fans, but I do believe his time is up at Manchester United. But anyway, if you want to watch the full video based on Harry Maguire, it is available now to watch. Just quickly get it up on my phone. And yes, I do believe that Harry Maguire is going to be a very good player for West Ham. So anyway, make sure you leave a like on the video, subscribe if you are new. We are on the road to 800 subscribers. And let's just make a little announcement. If we can get to 1,000 subscribers in the next 6 days, which is the 1-year anniversary of Red Devils TV, if we can get to 1,000 subscribers, I will give out a £100 gift card of anyone's choice. That's how desperate I am to get to 1,000 subscribers. I know it's not going to happen, but if you are interested, please share the channel and subscribe if you are new. But anyway, thank you for watching. Have a good evening, everybody, and we will see you tomorrow for another video.